I was alluding to the fact that when we go through and do a lot of research, that sometimes it might not be the best thing for us to do. And the reason why it wouldn't be the best thing for us to do is because we all have this preconceived notion about what is. Anyone that knows me can tell you I'm really heavily into the mindset, because I believe that it is the mindset that determines what you're going to get in the long run. So I said I have a story to tell you after Francie got done talking, and so here's that story. In fact, this story I read in a book by Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey wrote a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen Covey just recently passed away, but this is very timely that I remember this story. He told a story of these two groups of people. They had two rooms, and in each room they had a drawing. One room had a drawing of an old woman, and the other room had a drawing of a young woman. And so he had everybody in the room examine the drawing. They talked about the drawing. They discussed the drawing and gave their opinions about the drawing. And then he told them all that there was going to be a time they were going to bring them together with another group of people. And once they all got together in one group instead of two, he addressed the group and he said that he's going to pass something around, and he wants them to know right off the bat that there's more than one way to look at it. Okay? So he passed around a composite picture of the older woman and the younger woman. A composite picture. Well, invariably, the people that had seen the old woman in the beginning saw the old woman in the composite. The people that saw the young woman, they invariably saw the young woman in the composite, but the composite had both women in it. In fact, as the two sides got to discussing their findings, they got heated. They got tense, because each side swore that the other side was wrong. And so they started to delineate different portions and say that this right here is the young woman's feather on her hat. Oh, no, that's the old lady's chin. This right here is the young lady's hat. No, that's the old woman's hair. And gradually, slowly but surely, they came to the conclusion that it was a composite picture. Now, if that story doesn't ring true to you, if it doesn't resonate with you to let you know that we get what we expect, or we see what we're preconditioned to see, I have lots of stories that indicate that. But you think about it yourself. Now, there are some analytical types, some people that describe themselves as quite logical, but just like the rest of us, they have preconceived expectations, and if they do not root out those preconceived expectations and actively try to realize that there's more than one way to skin a cat, well, they're going to be left bloody and beaten by their mindset. So, as you go through your day, as you go through your life and live the way that you like to live, keep in mind that the way that you see it might not be the way that it is. Keep in mind that the way that you see it, if it doesn't make you feel good, or if it doesn't enhance your life, maybe it is not the thing that you're looking at, maybe it's the way that you're looking at the thing. So you may ask yourself, what does this have to do with research? Well, it has to do with research, because as you begin to look for things, as you begin to search for things that you call yourself being unbiased about, it is natural that the things that already resonate with you are going to be drawn to you. And whatever your preconceived notion is about a particular thing, any research that you find is going to serve to bear that out. One of the places where people do a lot of research is when they go out to buy a car. When they go out to buy a car, they want to do their research about this car and their research about that car. You know, if there was some way that we could examine it, or some way that we could get into the meat of the thing, we'd find that more than likely, more often than not, the person ends up buying the car that they wanted from the start. The only thing the research did was help them justify the reason that they wanted to do the thing that they wanted to do. So the time that we spend researching, the time that we spend thinking that we're researching, that is, we're ending up bringing to ourselves the thing that we already think, might be better spent honing our belief. Honing our belief. The subconscious mind is in charge, and it is silly enough to believe whatever it is that we put in it. So we have to set aside, we have to maybe sit down with a yellow pad, and we have to craft the sort of beliefs that we want based on the kind of results that we want in our life. I mean, really, if you believe that marriage is for the birds, well, then you're never going to get married. If you believe that women should never work on the outside, then you're never going to be satisfied with a situation where that is true. So keep in mind, craft your belief by feeding your mind the things that you want to happen in your life. Craft your belief by over and over and over saying those things that's going to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Because no matter what you think else about it, things that make you feel bad, they don't stick around that long. Some people think that the things that happened to them have made them the way that they are, and that's not true. That's really not true, because some of the things that happened to you has happened to everyone else as well, but everyone else has not turned out like you. So here's what has happened. The things that have happened to you in the past, they have some impact on you, but it's not to make you the way you are. It's to make you believe that you are the way you are.